Okay, boys and girls, I'm back. It's Tuesday. I read to you yesterday chapter 1, which was titled Chase Ambrose, where we learn all about Chase and how he suffered from an accident. He fell off his roof and he has a concussion and he doesn't really remember anything. So starting with chapter 2 is titled Shoshana Weber. I'm assuming that's someone's name. So probably every chapter will be a character's name from the book that will probably lead us to learn more and more and more about Chase, who doesn't seem to remember much at all. There's a text message or text messages going on in the beginning right now. So Shosh466 says, "Hey, little brother, want a smile?" JW Piano Man responds, question mark. Shosh466 responds, Alpha Rat took a header off his roof and almost killed himself. JW Piano Man responds, by almost, you mean almost? Shosh466 responds, sorry, he's still alive, but supposedly messed up. Just got out of the hospital yesterday. JW Piano Man responds, any chance beta and gamma rats fell with him? Shosh466 responds, nope, solo performance, he was all alone. Don't get greedy. Smiling yet? JW Piano Man responds, now who's being greedy? So clearly, if you haven't picked up on this, these two people having this conversation don't seem to like Chase at all. They're referring to him as the Alpha Rat. So let's see why they don't like him. I exit the messages and call Joel because I'm worried about him. This is Shoshana talking. I always worry about him. He's my younger brother, 14 minutes younger anyway. But if the thought of Chase Ambrose falling off his stupid roof onto his stupid head doesn't bring a smile to Joel's lips, then something is seriously wrong. Besides the usual, hey, he answers. Even in that single syllable, I can pick up the discouraged tone in his voice. He's angry and homesick, and who can blame him? It's not like going away to boarding school was his first choice, or even his 20th. Is Melton getting any better? I ask, almost afraid to hear the answer. That's Melton Prep and Musical Conservatory in New Britain, Connecticut. What can I tell you? It's exile. I don't argue with him. How can I? Joel's a talented musician who belongs in a place like Melton. But that doesn't change the fact that he'd still be at home starting 8th grade at Hiawassee if it weren't for what happened. So Joel must be at a boarding school right now, and we're going to find out why he's there. How are the other kids? Okay, he replies without much enthusiasm. All losers, just like me. I'm probably not going to get picked on, if that's what you mean. There are no pickers here, only pickies. That bugs me. You're not losers. You're there because you're winners. You have talent. There's a reason why I can't live in my own town, and it has nothing to do with playing the piano. It's Alpha Rat, and you know it. If he fell off a skyscraper instead of his own roof, I'd be on my way home right now. So Joel must be at that boarding school because of Chase. And Shoshana, his brother, twin brother, if you didn't pick up on that, is calling to check on him. I have to let that pass because it's the bitter truth. Chase Ambrose and his two disgusting friends hounded my poor brother out of town. The thought of it amazes me even though I saw it happen. I still can't figure it out. Chase isn't Darth Vader. He doesn't have the Force or dark magical powers. And yet he, Aaron, Hankeman, and Bear Bratsky made Joel's life so miserable that my parents had no choice but to find him a school in another town. We tried to fight it. My dad spent so much time in the principal's office that it would have made more sense for him to leave a change of clothes there. But nothing could be done about the bullying. Most of the time, there was no way to prove who was doing it. A random foot tripping Joel up in a crowded hall, a shoulder rammed into his chest that sent him sprawling. Sorry, man, didn't see you. Dog poop pushed in through the vents of his locker, his clothes mysteriously disappearing from the changing room to be replaced by a rabbit suit. When a science project wound up smashed or a painting ruined in the art room, it was always Joel's. On the night of the talent show when the fire alarm was pulled, it was during Joel's piano performance. So Chase and his buddies must have really picked on Joel. It started with just Chase, Aaron, and Bear. Eventually, though, it spread. The other kids, well, they couldn't help but notice that every time someone was making a fuss or protesting, stuffed into a locker or mummified with toilet paper, it was my brother, Joel. Before you knew it, Joel was the school victim and the school joke. His life was practically unbearable. Who do you blame? The principal, Dr. Fitzwallace, did what he could, but most of the time, there wasn't any evidence. Sure, he can make the occasional try. There was this time Chase chucked a lacrosse stick at Joel's bike, and the butt end got jammed in the spokes. Joel went flying over the handlebars and wound up with a sprained wrist, a black eye, and a nasty scrape along his jaw, stretching from chin to ear. There were plenty of witnesses to that one. Dr. Fitzwallace was all set to throw the book at Chase. A long suspension, the works. The school board overruled him. They agreed it was wrong to throw the stick, but insisted that Chase couldn't have predicted it would result in a serious injury. Ha! The real reason was that Chase was the town's sports hero and the son of the last town sports hero. Chase's dad had a lot of admirers on that school board, and my family didn't. The only time anyone was able to pin something on those three idiots, it had less to do with my poor brother than the fact that it cost the district money. At the big open house in May, Joel was invited to play piano. He's by far the best musician around here, even if none of the other kids appreciate it. Anyway, Chase, Aaron, and Bear planted 6 cherry bombs inside the school's baby grand. Time for the middle of Joel's performance. I can still hear Joel's scream when the big firecrackers went off, splintering the wood of the piano. I think that's part of what makes him such an irresistible target for the Chases of the world. They know they can get a reaction out of him. After that, Joel couldn't even walk down a hall without a bunch of football players making fun of him. And how scared he was. We were all scared, but it's only Joel they remember. The irony is that the case against Chase and company had nothing to do with the attack on my brother. No, it was the damage to the piano that got the administration upset enough to bring in the police. The juvenile court judge sentenced Chase, Aaron, and Bear to community service at our town's senior citizens' home. as if the elderly deserved that. You'd think Chase would leave Joel alone after that. It would have made sense. But sense has never been an alpha rat quality. So my parents found a new place for Joel, because as long as that bully was around, my brother would never be safe. Joel's probably right that if Chase had fallen off a skyscraper instead of just a roof, he'd probably be able to leave Mountain and come home. Sometimes I feel like I should be up on that tall building, pushing Chase over the side. But that would make me no better than him, and I am better. Everybody is. The night before the first day of school, my dad always used to take Joel and me to Heaven on Ice, which is one of those self-serve frozen yogurt places. Even though Joel and I are twins, our dessert strategies are totally opposite. I get vanilla yogurt with just a handful of chocolate sprinkles. Joel prefers a thimbleful of yogurt and 99% toppings. It's a competition to see who can load up the most weight. Because usually you have to put them on the scale and they tell you how much it weighs, and that's how they charge you at those frozen yogurt places. I don't want to go to school this year. Come on, Shosh, my dad wheedles. It's a tradition. I don't want to go to get yogurt this year. Come on, Shosh, my dad wheedles. It's a tradition. All your friends will be there. Not my best friend. He gives me a sad smile. So you and Joel are best friends now. When he's home, you two fight like cats and dogs. He should be home now. I know Dad's trying to help, but I'm determined to be miserable. We've been over this a million times. This is the best thing for Joel. Whatever the reason he's there, he'll learn to love Mountain for the music program. In the end, I let him talk me into going. Mom and Dad are worried enough about my brother. I don't need them stressing over me too. It's weird to be at Heaven on Ice without Joel. I see Hugo and Mauricia, and the first question they ask is, how is Joel doing? The way they say it, it's like he's been shipped off to the moon, not Connecticut. I don't want to deal with the whole sob story again, so I changed the subject and asked them about camp. They both went to sleepaway this summer. Right when Hugo is telling me about his life and death struggle with a pup tent, I spot him. The jerk. The worst person in the world. Chase has a few small cuts and bruises on his face, although nothing like I was hoping for. His left arm is in a sling, but that's about it. He's standing in front of the row of yogurt dispensers with a timid look on his face, like he honestly can't decide what flavor he wants. Isn't that classic? The kid who feasted on Joel, chewed him up and spit him out, can't make up his mind between strawberry banana and rum raisin. Too bad they don't have poison here. He must feel me glaring at him because he glances up and catches my eye. He looks right through me at first, which is insulting enough. And then he does something so horrible that I can barely believe it, even from the likes of him. He casts me a shy smile. Why is Chase smiling? Hopefully you're thinking it. Because he doesn't remember that he's a big, giant bully. He has no recollection of the type of person that he is. So Shoshana Shosh, I'm guessing is the nickname, is surprised that he's smiling at him. All the anger that's been building inside me since Joel left for Mountain rises to the surface like magma. Before I have a chance to think about it and stop myself, I stalk over to Chase. I get right in his face and tell him, "You've got some nerve grinning at me after what you did. You stay out of my way or you'll be sorry." I take my beautiful vanilla yogurt, chocolate sprinkles, and dump it over his head and sweep out all of the stone. My father's in conversation with one of the other dads and almost misses me storming past. Done so soon, he asks. Then he looks back inside and sees our family's problem. Dripping frozen yogurt and sprinkles all down Chase's face, dabbing at himself with a soaked napkin in one free hand. Car's around the corner, Dad mumbles, hurrying me away from heaven on ice. He's embarrassed, but maybe also a little bit proud. And how do I feel? I thought there was nothing Chase could do to make me madder at him than I already am. Now I stand corrected. Every time I think about it, my blood boils a little bit hotter. After all the bad history that went down between him and Joel, I swear he looked at me like he never seen me before in his life, like he hadn't played a starring role in destroying my family. So I'm going to stop there. So we learn a little bit more about Shoshana. I may have called Shoshana a boy. I can't remember, so sorry if I did. And her twin brother, Joel, and their major issue with Chase, because Chase bullied Joel so badly that he's now at a boarding school. Sad. I'm going to stop there. I'll pick up tomorrow with chapter 3. Don't forget to answer the comprehension questions that follow. And I hope you're still enjoying the book, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.